Now we're almost done with functions, but here's one last nice feature you should be aware of, and that are keyword arguments. Now what's that again? It's actually not that difficult. We got a function with two arguments, name and age. Here's what happens in the function we just outputted. And now with keyword arguments, we can actually also call a function like this. In our function call, we use the name of the argument, name and age, and an equal sign, and then the value we want to pass. Normally, if you don't refer to the names in the function call, the position defines which argument receives which value. The first data you pass goes into the first argument, the second data goes into the second argument, of course. With keyword arguments, you can switch the position or also omit some argument after which another argument comes which you don't want to omit, for example. Now let's also add this to our course. And let's take advantage of positional arguments by simply reversing the order for this second add value call. So I wanna use getLastBlockchainValue as a first argument. Now, of course, I can switch it like this. I'm not using my names here. And if I execute this, on the first sight, it looks like it worked, but of course, it didn't work. We're actually now adding our values incorrectly for that second add value call, which is the reason why here we have 0.9 as a first value and the old blockchain as a second value instead of the other way around, which we normally want. If for some reason we wanted to call it like this, however, we can do this with the named arguments or with keyword arguments, how it's officially called. We can say, or we can pass that information to the function which data should go into which argument. So I could say, hey, this should actually be the last transaction by using last transaction equal and then the value that should be put into it. And this, on the other hand here, is the transaction amount, also with an equal sign. And now with this, if we repeat that, it still works, but you can already see there's a difference. This now is the correct blockchain again and not the wrong one. So here we're now taking advantage of keyword arguments, and this is everything you need to know about functions right now. How you define them in general, that you can pass arguments, that you can return data, that you can provide default arguments, and that you can use keyword arguments, which simply means you use the argument name when calling the function, and you got greater control over which argument receives which data therefore.